The show starts in 1 minute.
Please remember to replace the speaker on the post when you leave the theater. And now, on with the show.
Hello and welcome to episode 93 of Saturday Matinee Theatre as we close in on 100. It's brought to you by your friends at the LONGBOX CRUSADE. We're back in jolly old England in our recording studio that is set up deep inside Sherwood Forest. I'm your host, Jared Albrecht, the yard sale artist, and joining me, as always, is the Little John to my Robin Hood. It is Pat Sampson, a.k.a. DJ Crusados. How are you feeling today, DJ Crusados?
Jared, I am doing good. It's great to be back here in the Sherwood Forest. Dave's with me as well, too. We are checking in on our Pat and Dave's Merryman Tavern that we have here, and we have a special going on. A special meat sauce. It's very good, very meaty, very saucy, and we're putting it on everything. So come on down and get some special meat sauce at Pat and Dave's Merryman Tavern.
You normally play double for that, right?
Yeah.
Well, first taste is free.
Pat and Dave's Merryman's Tavern makes me remember a sandwich shop that only Jason and Delvin will remember. Robin Hood sandwiches. Which Delvin never liked. Sketchy. He always says this place is sketchy as hell.
I love the Friar Tuck, man. The Friar Tuck.
I love Robin Hood, but Delvin was never on board with it.
No, sir. Absolutely not. Something about I don't know what it was. Do you want this sandwich? Merry men made it. Get away from me. You're dead behind the eyes.
So, Pat, in the military world, there was these very specific contracted places that you could eat at almost any military base. There was almost always a Robin Hood sandwich shop and an Anthony's Pizza, which actually was legit. Like, I liked Anthony's Pizza. I mean, I like Robin Hood, but I liked Anthony's Pizza a lot. But they're gone now. They were like specially contracted on all military bases back in the day.
Cool.
That's where that came from. Anyway, good luck getting around that. All right.
Oh, I'll probably keep it in. Like, I mean, in that we're like one of a very few, right? So people might want to hear that. I always edit a little bit loose when it comes to SMT, partly because like 8 people listen to it, but partly because there's no outtakes. Right. they're out since there's really no outtakes. I'll leave a little bit more of the silly in. Sorry, keep going.
Don't make them get loose now. All right.
Call me Joey. Call me Joey. Sorry. You.
We've only seen 8 movies. You got to jump in when you can. All right. Also joining me is the ugliest maid Marion of all time. Is my older, wiser brother, Jason the Weasel Skull Albrecht. How you doing, Jason? Welcome back to Sherwood.
Oh, I'm doing great, man. Speaking of hot and saucy, old maid Marion, she's hot and saucy in this episode. I'm looking forward to talking about it. She's out hunting boar. She's out hunting some Highland laddies too, man. So having a good old time. And, sticking it to old Robin a little bit. You know what I mean? So looking forward to having a good discussion.
Excellent. Let's get to our lovable Friar Tuck of the group. It is Delvin the Dark Web Williams. How do you do, Friar?
I'm pretty good. So here we are. We're the princes of the universe. Somebody had to do it.
Here we belong.
You knew you were going to like that candle. And I even addressed it in the script. Wait till you find the place in the script where I addressed it.
Yeah, I almost let it go, but then I felt like I think I'm contractually obligated at this point.
Oh, it's in the script. It's in your section, Delvin. Anyway, before we get all hung up on our memories of Robin Hood sandwich shops, what's in the script, what's not in the script, and how many Highlander references Jason's going to put into this episode. We should probably bring Pratt. Is it? How's it pronounced?
It's just Pat, Your Honor.
It's just Pat. We're off to a good start. Pat, show description, save me.
Well, Jared, I'm glad you asked. Saturday Matinee Theatre is a retro review, sometimes index show brought to you by the LONGBOX CRUSADE, where we will be taking you back to the past with some potentially overlooked retro awesomeness in the realm of television, movie serials, or films. Basically, if it's vintage and it's kind of forgotten, we're going to dig it up. On this episode, we will continue our indexing of all 39 episodes of the 1955 television series, The Adventures of Robin Hood, 1955's Robin Hood was produced by Sapphire Films, run by Hannah Weinstein and Sidney Cole. It starred Richard Green as Robin Hood, Alan Wheatley as the Sheriff of Nottingham. So take refuge in the forest, take off your quiver of arrows, get cozy by that fireplace, and let the gregarious music of the merry men whisk you away into the past. But don't get duped like a sly fox would.
Before we hand it over to Delvin for this episode's info, let's take a quick look, or in this case, a listen to a commercial that would have been playing at the time this episode was released back in 1955. So help us get in the right time frame of mind, if you will, and transport us back to the 50s. This episode's commercial retro rewind, we got Chef Boyardee.
If you've ever been to Venice, you remember the gondolas and the picturesque waterways. And you remember the food, too. Superb food, prepared with that very special Italian touch. The same special Italian touch that Chef Boyardee sauce with meat can give to your meals over here. Because the recipe for this tangy sauce has been brought over from Italy by this famous Italian chef. Chef Boyardee sauce with meat is made from juicy, sun-ripened tomatoes and tender quality beef, simmered in a spicy sauce that makes a rice and cheese loaf, a casserole, or a spaghetti dish a real Italian-style dish. So when you'd like to add that special Italian touch to your dinner, do it with Chef Boyardee sauce with meat. Try Chef Boyardee sauce with mushrooms, too. Both are prepared from the chef's own Italian recipe.
Okay, guys, what did you think of the Chef Boyardee? We're going to go in the order of who's probably eaten the most of it in their life to the least. So we start with Jason.
Yeah, I've got about a 5-year head start on eating Chef Boyardee over the rest of you. This is my legitimate thought on this, because that was like kind of a fancy commercial, right?
It was.
Like, have any of you been to Venice? If you're lucky and you've dined on that Italian, we've got just the right thing, Chef Boyardee. And I'm thinking to myself, I've been to Italy. I've eaten a lot of Chef Boyardee. In no world are those two things even close, not even remotely close. But then I got to thinking, like, were they just really good at advertising and getting me curious? Like, should I go in a time machine back to 1950? And if I did crack it open, would it be much better? Maybe it would be really
I had
good.
the same question.
I don't know. All I know is like, this commercial wouldn't fly in 2025 for a Chef Boyardee, but, you know, maybe in 1950, who knows? I'm curious. Now I want to go back to 1950 and try some Chef Boyardee.
Yeah, I had the same question. I was like, tastes better in 1950? I don't know. Anyway, we'll find out what Delvin thinks.
I'm with Jason on that, because I saw it, like, I mean, and they had a good backdrop, and they're like, you know, have any of you broke been to Italy? This is what
man, I'm eating Chef Boyardee.
This is what Chef Boyardee tastes like. You better have been over there. If you hadn't been, you wouldn't know. And I'm like, really? I mean, I haven't been to Italy. I don't believe them. Even though, like, nowadays, this has kind of been like a big complaint that I'm kind of in agreement with. Like, a lot of times, like, they want to keep food on the shelves a little bit longer, so they throw a whole bunch of preservatives into it and stuff like that. And so the taste winds up getting a little bit altered because it's saltier, literally. But maybe what was in the can was a little bit different. Like part of me was like, maybe it's a little bit fresher and more authentic. And part of me is like, it probably had asbestos in it. Who knows?
Much like Chef Boyardee, the further we get from 1950, the saltier I get. I cracked myself up. Pat, Chef Boyardee's nuts. What do you got?
Well, Jared, I do eat me some Chef Boyardee. I like the mini raviolis, and I would eat a lot of that.
I would say that is their best product. We should probably go around the horn on best product.
Yeah. I eat that a lot for lunch sometimes, just a can of it. It's good and filling for you. Mm-hmm. But my question is that nobody talked about here.
Oh, might be the one that I have. Yeah. I'm on the seat of my seat.
Yeah. What the hell is a rice and cheese loaf?
Yes.
I didn't know that either, Pat. I did not know that either.
I was like, did they take that? Why have I not tried one?
Did they? I'm thinking,
delicious.
The way I looked at it is like, we used to get government cheese and, it'd come in a big brick like that. And I'm like, did they just, roll it in some rice and then put meat sauce over it? It sounds good.
It did. I mean, it looked good when they showed it.
I don't know. I don't know what the rice and cheese loaf is. I had to go back because I'm like, did they say rice and cheese?
I'm just saying that doesn't sound bad, does it?
No, it doesn't.
A rice and cheese loaf, and then you put like some meat sauce over it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just want to know. I didn't go and look up, so
it's time to go back to our roots of the long box with the recipes.
Yes,
we got to look one of these up. We got to look this. Yeah. Someone has saved a recipe on the internet, and we're going to find a rice and cheese loaf. We're going to put some Chef Boyardee meat sauce on it. We're going all in on this, Pat.
Yeah,
we're going all in.
It should sounded interesting. And the other thing I wanted to know is the way they make the sound. Is the chef his original name Boyardee? Did he come over from there and brought his special meat sauce over from?
Delvin's got that. I'm Googling the history of Chef Boyardee. Look on his face right now. So
I agree with Delvin too that maybe it was tastier back then.
You never
before
know.
they did the.
Never know. Who knows? Mysteries of Chef Boyardee. So yeah, I'm with you on raviolis. Yeah. Jason, do you have a favorite one? And then we're going to go to Delvin. I think he's about finished his internet research.
I'm with you on the mini ravioli is my favorite. I also enjoy a good chili mac.
Oh, the chili.
No, I don't think I've tried the chili mac.
I'd like to add that I liked the spaghetti and meatballs by Chef Boyardee. Tasty. Okay. And the ravioli too. I've had plenty of those, even though I haven't had any either one in a very, very long time. Thanks to Wikipedia, by the way. After leaving his position as head chef at the Plaza Hotel in New York City, Ettore Boyardee opened a restaurant in Il Giardino d'Italia, which means the Garden of Italy, in 1924 at East 9th Street and Woodland Avenue in Cleveland, Ohio. The idea for Chef Boyardee came about when restaurant customers began asking Boyardee for his spaghetti sauce, which he began to distribute in milk bottles. There's more, but that's how it started.
Interesting.
The natural connection between Italian food and Cleveland. But hey, he had it going on. People liked his sauce.
Yeah.
I got a couple of recipes for a delicious rice and cheese loaf. So
yes,
maybe we need to make this happen when we get together for our anniversary for our reunion.
Well, we have definitely gone down the rabbit hole of Chef Boyardee rice and cheese loaf, but I love it. And now that we're our 50s mindset, here's Delvin with the episode info. Get us back on track.
Absolutely. That's one of the things I love about this show, though. We go a little bit off the train sometimes because you're either on the train or off the train. Regardless, episode 12 was titled The Highlander. Jared wrote the notes.
Here we are, born to be kings.
I didn't even get to it, but Jared wrote in the notes, look for a lot of bits from Jason. This was not planned, folks. It happened exactly as organically as you just heard it. The original air date, December 12th, 1955. The director, Ralph Smart. The writer was Eric Heath, who we've also introduced as Ring Lardner Jr. in the past. With guest stars, Rufus Cruikshank as Little John, Alexander Gage as Friar Tuck, Bernadette O'Farrell as Maid Marian, Hugh McDermott as Duncan of Stonykirk, the Highlander. And as a note, as we've seen before, on the version that we watched, the end credits don't match the episode, just in case you're curious. As a reminder, all 39 episodes are available on YouTube. We highly encourage you to watch this episode before proceeding with this podcast, because not only is it just more fun that way, but Jared is about to give a synopsis about this episode, and then we're going to discuss it. There are probably some spoilers heading your way, so if you haven't watched this episode, we recommend you pause here, go check it out on YouTube, and then come back to join our discussion. It's only about 26 minutes per episode, y'all. Not that big of a time demand. For those of you who are watching along with us, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to give us your comments on contact@longboxcrusade.com, at LONGBOX CRUSADE on X, Facebook, Instagram, or Blue Sky, or leave a voice message at 707-532-5269. That is 707-532-LBOX.
Pick up the phone. There can be only one.
Put some meat sauce on it.
And with that, let's turn it over to Jared for the episode summary.
Duncan of Stonykirk is a charming Scottish rogue that found the camp of the Merry Men. He's a nice guy. He's an excellent sportsman. He's a very good fighter. So he's welcomed into the camp by most. Robin is keeping a wary eye on the too good to be true recent addition to the camp, especially since it's not just the Merry Men who seem to be liking Duncan. He's also charming Maid Marian. Robin's suspicions of treachery are confirmed a bit too late, though, as he finds himself literally snared in Duncan's trap. Who is Duncan working for, and why did he infiltrate the Merry Men to gain their trust? Tune in. This dude's name is Duncan. That's another Highlander connection.
Duncan MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod, if you go with the television series.
I need to watch that. I've heard it's good. And I think I have at least season 1 of my Plex. But anyways, well, let's get to the highs, lows, and what does of the episode. Once again, I forgot to change the order. So lucky you, Pat. Pat, you get to go first. What you got?
All right. I'll start us off with, is this their second episode with this new Little John? Yeah. Okay. This one, he stands out a little bit more on this one, for me at least, that I was like, wow, he's a little bit different. Kind of the same way a little bit, but we just know how, what's his name?
Archie Duncan.
Archie Duncan. We just know how, Archie Duncan. Oh, wow, look at that. Interesting. Anyway, I liked this guy, and I can't remember how long he's going to be around for a little bit.
Oh, goodness. I had it as the fun fact last episode. I want to say it's like 8 episodes or something like that, because as a reminder to the listeners, Archie Duncan actually saved a bunch of kids from some runaway horses and injured himself in the process, and that's why he's out for I want to say it's like 8 episodes that we're going to have this stand-in, and he got like the Queen's Medal for his heroism. I mean, it's a great story.
Yeah, but it's annoying me that he's not here for this series, so I say screw them kids.
All right, Jason, we cashed in the kids for more Archie Duncan. But hey, while you're on the mic, Jason, it's your turn. What you got?
Oh, I'm teasing about the kids. I'm starting to settle in on this Longshanks, Crookshanks, whatever his name is. Archie Duncan's understudy. We'll just call him Archie Duncan's understudy, coming in as Little John. One of the moments I really enjoyed here was when old boy, our Scottish rogue, is breaking into their booty tent, where they keep all their treasure. And he's going to just kind of waltz in. And who's in there to meet him? Our boy, Little John. What you doing? Little man? How about you take your Scottish behind and walk on out of here? I love that interaction. And, I don't think it was just Robin Hood that had a weathered eye on Sir Duncan there.
Yeah, I think our key players, both Little John and Tuck, I think although Tuck was a little excited about the wine, but anyway, I'll let you guys talk about stuff. It's Delvin's turn.
Hey, man, priests get so few pleasures in life. Sometimes we got to hit the bottle a little bit, a little bit of hooch,
Stop that.
Yeah? Oh, sorry. I'm kind of glad. I continually find ways to be impressed by the show. They were giving the hints with Duncan that something about him was sinister, like he'd be asleep on the rock and then he kind of wake up with that evil eye, arr. And I'm like, ooh, okay, he bad. Duncan, you a bad boy. But no, it wasn't quite the case. And so when he was going into like the loot tent basically, and like he got caught the first time, but had a great diversion. You know, he gave his reasoning as for why and what he was specifically after. It's like, oh, okay, all right, I'm willing to accept that. And the giveaway on that, I guess, was when he duped Robin, he could have killed him. That clearly wasn't his plan at all to harm Robin Hood in any way. And that was kind of where he kind of showed that, like, you know, okay, at minimum, there's at least a little bit something more to him. So I was kind of glad or happy at the character arc that Duncan had from start to finish. Kind of went from a scamp to even more of a scamp to having a scamp with a little bit of heart. And even though it looked like he was about to turn really dark, that never happened, and I didn't mind it.
Yeah, I really thought that it was going to come out that he was like working for the sheriff or something like that as an infiltrator. And it had that really cool, like, hey, you know, we just really want this ceremonial dagger, or dirk as it is referred to, you know, that's really important to my clan and all this stuff. And y'all stole it off some dude a few months ago, right? And I was like, that's just pretty cool. You know, that was a neat episode that didn't have, you know, the sheriff and all the big stuff involved. Just a good small scale story. And it's good to see that they could do small scale well. We're going to go back to Pat.
Yeah, I would just want to agree with Delvin on that. That was one of the things I wrote down, was just how Robin got duped, but was not really too harmed at well, besides his own pride of, you know, falling for that trap that he set up. And I thought it was really cool. And then just the arc, as Delvin mentioned with Duncan, is I thought, like you, Jarrett, that he was on the bad guy side. You know, he was going to turn him in and do something like that. But you just find out, you know, he just wants to get one item back, which is really cool. And then how Robin kind of dupes him and takes whatever jewels or something that was in there. I think 6 of them. He goes, oh, we can trade them. And Rob's like, I already took 2. So
Yeah, I took my cut, buddy.
I took my cut already for you, which was kind of fun. And, you know, Robin kind of gets the last laugh at it. All in all, a fun little jaunt here. And I think the characters were played very loose and just all having fun with this one.
Yeah, I'd very much like to see the return of Hugh McDermott as the Highlander in a future episode. That would be very cool. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but it'd be nice.
Did anybody think that he looked a little bit like Jack Black?
I see it now.
That you mentioned,
Now that you mentioned it, I see it. Yeah.
I looked at it, I was like, hey, that's Jack Black's uncle. I don't know. I saw it. He just kind of
McBlack Jack, something like that. Anyway, I think that leaves Jason's next.
Well, I'll talk a little bit about Maid Marian in this one. She continues to impress as well. From the moment she goes out to be with the lads out there in their camp, you can tell she's having more fun out there with them than whatever the heck she's doing back in that palace. And then, you know, the little tension is as she starts flirting a little bit with Duncan, and Duncan's flirting back, and Robin's not liking it. And then Robin decides he's going to puff up his chest and forbid her from going boar hunting. It's like, I forbid it. And she says, I know this is like medieval England and I'm somebody's property, but I'm doggone sure not yours. So, you know, she just put her foot down, and I just love the tension between them and the little petty jealousy that Robin's feeling. And you know, it's fun. It's all good, harmless fun. Yeah, Maid Marian has this way of just like working her way into the camp and working her way into our hearts, man. She's all that. Like her.
Yeah, I love that. She was like, forbid these.
She was like playing Robin too. You know, you could tell that she was like into it and like, hey, I'm going to let this guy kind of get up on me, and, you know, I'm going to play him and see what Robin's going to do. And just, you know,
the ladies love that maneuver.
Yeah,
they do. Yeah. I'm going to go check out Duncan's hog and hunt some boar too.
Wait, what? Delvin, you get the last word. Well, before Pat does what Pat does.
I don't even know if I have anything else. It's
a pretty simple story.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty simple story. There's not really much more to say. I'll just mention just the clever play on words. I saw what was coming when he was talking about catching a fox with a rope. Yeah, I was like, oh, Robin, bro.
Robin's like, what? Show me the file. Oh, damn it.
I was like, he got you. He got you good. I guess I'll mention just how, once again, I just love how Robin's character shone through. He bested the guy, or bested Duncan in battle, and then told the merry men what happened. And then, but he's like, well, let me say my piece. Robin's like, go ahead. And he said his piece, and then he's like, guys, have you changed your mind? And everyone's like, yeah. Yeah, he is. And you think about that as like, yep, these guys are outlaw, but they have a sense of fairness and justice. And it's very easy to see why that's endearing to generations.
Indeed, sir. And I like that moment a lot too, where he got to tell his side of the story and everybody was like, yeah, this guy's pretty cool. Pat, you got anything else on your list, or can we move on?
Well, just got a few things. Let's talk about the fight scenes that were in here. You know, two good fights, two good sword fighting that were going on, and I liked that. You know, the jousting that was happening between them, and especially the final battle. I guess when they're jumping around, and you notice that when they're always fighting, they always like stamp that foot down.
Oh yeah,
like that. And I don't know if that's like a normal thing to do while you're doing fighting, or is it just like their tell to the guy, hey, I'm gonna.
I think it comes from stage acting. I think it's part of stage fencing to add more oomph to it, and I think it just carried. This is Jared's pet theory. You know, I'd love to hear from other people. Alan Wright's our guy.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear what he thinks about that. I think it's from stage acting. That's my.
I think it's a combination because there is because I've done a lot of bayonet training back in my old Army days, and they do tell you that like when you thrust, stomp with that foot,
plant the foot.
Plant your foot, and that gets your power.
All right.
That's also how I had two kids. The thrust with the plant.
Hey. But let's go ahead and go into some Robin fights, and Robin fights Duncan.
Duncan got that sneaky extra knife in there, though.
Yeah, he got that sneaky extra knife in there, and he also fights the attempts of Duncan's on Marion. You know,
well, she wasn't fighting.
She wasn't fighting him, but Robin was kind of giving him the stink eye. So
I like your pancakes.
Robin, come on.
He was like, oh, this one's ruined. Robin, do you want it?
Oh, and then just Robin being duped by getting that Sly Fox, and I'm like, oh wow, he fell for that.
Yep, Robin did go all the way. He went all the way. It's a Sly Fox joke. That is a deep cut, right there. Yeah. Hey, two cool guys got my offbeat 80s song reference. Let's go all the way.
Let's go all the way.
My Sly Fox. Anyway,
feeling like a thinker,
trying to work it out.
This is my fault, Delvin. I accept responsibility.
It's okay. It's okay. We're good.
All right. I'm going to get into fun facts. And of course, I'm going to talk about Hugh McDermott, who played the Highlander himself. Interestingly enough, Hugh McDermott stars in a lot of American films. In fact, he had a career going from about 1936 to 1972 with his biggest hits and fun films happening in the 50s. And he plays a lot of American characters. But the dude is really Scottish. This is like one of the few times he actually got to play his own Scottish heritage. So we got to see what you don't see a lot. But anyway, yeah, he was in...
Did he play a Berber?
Or a Russian submarine captain? He was in First Men on the Moon, Devil Girl from Mars, Night People, which starred Gregory Peck. So he did a lot of like these fun, when the sci-fi boom hit in the 50s, he was there for it. But he often played an American, and he was so good at playing American when he would tell people he's Scottish and kind of revert to that. It's kind of like a Christian Bale thing, you know? You see him as Batman or whatever, and then when you see him in an interview, you're like, who is this? Who are you?
Yep. I always did the same thing and do the same thing with Hugh Laurie when he did House. And then I heard him on the Behind the Actors Screen Guild, and it's like, who that?
What is this? But guys, I have additional fun fact that we're going to have to do like a rewind because I discovered this while I was digging fun facts on this one. Let's go back to the last episode, which was... what was the title of it? The Ordeal. Remember when old boy had to like snatch a silver bar from a boiling,
pot,
boiling water.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so if you remember that episode well, it was one of Robin's friends, who'd gone back to see his wife, have some fun time. But some dude robbed another dude, tried to pin it on him.
Yep.
He hid this good silver. Remember that guy who hid the silver and all that? Okay, that is an actor named Willoughby Gray. And that doesn't mean a lot to all of us, but it will mean everything to Jason when I go, Max.
Oh man, the doctor dude from View to a Kill?
From A View to a Kill, the evil Nazi scientist that had made Christopher Walken crazy, like the old dude that was always hanging out with Christopher Walken in A View to a Kill. And when I was like, oh my gosh, it's the dude from A View to a Kill, I was like, I gotta mention that because I know at least Jason would love it.
That was worth it. That was worth it.
Man. And I was like, man, he did not age well because he looked hella old in A View to a Kill. And I was thinking, I did the math. I was like, well, this was 55. So he would have been 30 years older. And he was probably 40, 45. So yeah, he was about 70, 75 years old. Yeah. Math is up on that one. But yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was like, yeah, that's a dude from A View to a Kill. All right. So this has been fun fact strictly for Jason.
Appreciate it.
Trying to think about any of our other 4 listeners that also cross over.
That's probably a good fact for Ruth and Darren.
Ruth and Darren. I was like, Ruth and Darren will probably like that one.
When you can call upon your fan audience by name.
Let's see, is it Ruth and Darren, or is it Alan Wright, or Alan Porter if he's really bored, might actually listen.
If he listens.
So anyways, with all that fun stuff out of the way, let's get into the arrow rating for the episode. If you give it 5 arrows, that means you loved it. 4 means you thought it was very good. 3, it was good. And 2 was just okay. And 1, I didn't like it. I don't see any 3s, 2s, or 1s shooting out of the old arrow bag on this one. But let's find out and do it official like. We'll start with Jason.
Well, I know people keep talking about me, hear it every day. I can prove them wrong because I'm right first time. And I'm going to give this one a 4, I think. Not quite up to 5 territory. It was fun. I think it's one of those, as Powell called, a palate cleanser. I think maybe not, so ingrained to the core guts of the story. I don't know if the Highlander is going to make a return or not, but if he doesn't, this was a fun one. 4 from me.
I almost want to give it an extra point because I think this one had the was it willow root hair tonic?
Yes, it did.
Back on it again.
Yep.
But again, I think those credits might have been from a different episode because they didn't match up. But it was nice to see though. Is it called willow root? Is that right? Willow root hair tonic, something like that.
I can't remember. It was a hair tonic, and I'm like,
something root that starts W. Anyway,
wild root. Was it wild root? No,
I think that's it. I think it's wild root. I think that's right.
Some kind of root hair tonic. It's the old 50s way of British people. It's like their soul glow.
Yeah. I just like the word tonic.
I do too. Pat.
Sounds so medieval.
Pat.
Yes.
1-5.
I am with Jason on this one. So you got right now 2 cool guys out of 4. It was a very good one. I had fun and watched it all the way through. And, as I'm doing stuff around the house before the show and all that, some chores and all that, I find myself just singing the song. Robin, it's just
it is catchy.
It's fun. It's fun.
They did it to Scotland the Brave. I thought that was really cool too.
Nice, good catch. Delvin, are you going to join the cool guys? Are you going to go off on an island?
I'm going to join the cool guys. Like, it's Robin Hood. And I was sitting there thinking about it, thinking about the whole rating thing, and I'm watching it. And I'm like, yep, like slow build, but good payoff. And Robin Hood has that good credit. You know what I'm saying? You know how it is. If you've had 48 months of good credit and then you maybe slip one payment, they're like, no, we understand. You're paying us next month. I was like, yes. No, you got the credit. So, and this wasn't even that bad. They're
if you're slipping to a 4, that's
right. To me, right now, the quality of Robin has been so good. The standard is a 4. I give it a 4.
I concur with everything you just said.
I was going to say, Batman, we're going to break your thumbs. Credit's no good here.
It's no good, Batman. Batman cereal. I still love the cliffhanger where he crashes a plane and then the cliffhanger reveals he walks out of the plane. What? And That's my favorite one.
He took that plane crash better than he took a whooping.
That's true.
And it was way back then when it was that they didn't wear any seatbelts to begin with anyway. Probably not even on the
That's why it was so tough. Anyways, yeah, I'm with you guys. I think it's all fours. This was that's also how I have birthed 2 children. But this one, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, this one was just a real sort of small story. Like I was how'd they get a full episode of that? But they did, and it was good. So yeah, not a problem. Not a problem. I think it's time for us to open up the Sherwood Forest mailbag. We've got some stolen Scottish dirks in here and a couple of people to thank. And of course, we're thrilled to kick off the comments with special shout outs to our Crusaders Club members. These are the fine folks who've joined the Crusade. They get early access to special long box episodes. They get to vote on show content, raffle prizes, guest appearances on shows. These are the fine folks that are reaping those benefits and giving some much appreciated support to the show.
Alan W. Wright.
And Helica Wolf.
Auburn Elvis.
Bill Beer.
Billy D.
Bradley Dello.
Braxton Underwood.
Carrie.
Clinton Robeson.
Captain Entropy.
Clark Westfield.
Dave Collins. Battle Wagon. And Come Down on 'em Tavern. Is that right? Pat and Dave's.
And part owner of the Merriman Tavern.
Hey.
Eric Hodges.
Eric Porter.
Ezra Gallo.
Gary V.
Gene Hendricks.
George Meal.
Gerald Green.
Heinz K.
Jason Keene.
Jason Lady.
Jeff Polier.
Jeremy L.
Jim Jarman. Hope you like him too. Bob Marley.
Jim Meal.
Joe Man Conan.
Joe Thomas.
John Watson.
Josh Strickland.
Candace Ward.
Captivating Kathy Bright, the MVP.
Matt and Lissy Paso.
Mark Ross.
Maxwell Traver.
Michael Minton.
Miranda W.
Chef PD Devins.
Boyardee.
RPD.
Paul Hicks.
Ricardo from Jefe y Ricardo Presente.
Ronald Easterday. I'm pretty sure that's how you say that in Spanish too.
See.
Rob Morgan.
Samantha Maney.
Sean Urbanski.
Spidey 67.
Spreadsheet and meat sauce.
Steve Cronin.
Tim Price.
Tony Pennington.
And Toronto Cop.
AKA Cheese and Rice Loaf.
Poutine.
If we missed anyone on the list, we apologize. Please keep in mind that we record these episodes well in advance of release. So if you're a recent addition, we should be adding you soon, but no worries. Always let us know if we missed you by sending an email to contact@longboxcrusade.com. Pat will get that. He will read that. He will let us know how we failed you. There'll be additional training for every member of the team.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole thing, but we will get it straightened out. And if you're asking yourself, how do I get on this awesomeness of Crusaders Club membership? Patreon.com/longboxcrusade. For as little as $1 a month, you get access to the amazing world of Crusaders Club. We would greatly appreciate it. Come check it out. And if you don't have any of that extra scratch laying around, you want to help us out here at LBC headquarters, there's other things you can do, like write a review on wherever you're listening to this. If it has the ability to write a review, do that. Leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you. And speaking of comments, hang on, give me a second. Speaking of comments, we got one from episode 88, which was episode 10 of Robin Hood, the ordeal, the aforementioned ordeal, where the guy had to snatch the bar out of the boiling water. We got one comment, and I'm pretty sure it was a bot. Pat, what do we get?
Well, Jared, I'm glad you asked. We got a comment from, you gave me this one just because you want.
I did.
I don't know.
Rangana of
Rangana? Rangana. I had Rangana once, and then I just got a cream for it, and I got it subscribed to me from Chef Boyardee. I'll take this one from Rangana Afrosi, and they say, "Great podcast." Well, thank you. We appreciate it so much. Would you like to increase your audience properly?
Yes.
Yes, I would.
We went so bad.
That was the only comment we got, and I was like, "Oh, I'm putting it in there." We need
Great
comments.
podcast.
People.
Would you like to increase?
Yes,
I'd like to learn how to do it properly.
Because
obviously
I'm
doing
missing the
it
mark.
all wrong. Yeah.
So please, people, leave a comment somewhere wherever you listen to this. Yeah, YouTube would be great. YouTube's a great place to leave comments. I do check the
YouTube algorithm
for the comments, and we get a fair amount of comments. I would say it's about an even split between X and Facebook. For our cross section of all shows, but not a ton on YouTube. We'd love for you guys to come over there and say a few words. But anyway, your comment is appreciated. And if you want to hear your voice on the show, and I'm talking to you, Rangana, 707-532-5269. You leave a voicemail, your thoughts on it. We'll play it on the show. We'll probably discuss it, have a few laughs. 707-532-LBOX.
Pick up the phone.
Add rice and cheese.
It's always good. Well, that's it for this episode of Saturday Matinee Theater. If you'd like to hear more from us in the realm of comic books, check out the Longbox Crusade. Pat, where can they find that?
Well, Jason, I'm glad you asked. You can find us all out on the all finer podcatchers that are out there. You name it, we're probably out there. And if we're not, let us know. Just give us a contact at longboxcrusade.com. Or you can find us at www.longboxcrusade.com. We're also on X, Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, and YouTube, all at Longbox Crusade. So go and check us out. Back to you, Jason.
Thank you, Pat. Do you like James Bond? Well, we do too. And if you'd like to hear us on our track through all things James Bond, you can check out on Her Majesty's Secret Podcast. Jared, where can they find that?
That can be found at Apple Podcasts. You can go directly to Podbean, most of your other podcatchers. You can go to www.secretpodcast.podbean.com to find that more directly. We do have an X account. It is at OHMS And I don't want to brag or anything, but we're the number 2 podcast in the world when it comes to agents.
Agents is the topic. We're number 2.
We'll talk more about it on the next episode.
Jared, would you like to increase
the audience?
The audience of agents?
How are we going to do it, though?
Properly.
Okay, yes.
Not property, but properly.
Properly, yes. I swear if Rongona Afrosi calls 707-582-69 and leaves a voicemail, it would be the happiest day of my life.
He's
so please, Rongona. Please, at least call and tell us how to pronounce it. We're probably mispronouncing. Anyway, Jason.
All right. If you'd like to chat with us online, well, I'm going cold turkey, but these guys you can get in touch with. Delvin, kick us off.
Threads, Delvin Ray. Blue Sky, DERAY 1977. Pat.
Well, Delvin, I'm glad you asked. You can find me on the X at Christatos01. Jared?
I am at Yard Sale Artist on X, Facebook, and Instagram. It's all at Yard Sale Artist.
Well, thanks for joining us for this episode of Saturday Matinee Theater. And it's time to get ready for our next episode. Get your whips oiled and your 6 shooters loaded as we continue our coverage of the 1937 serial, Zorro Rides Again. Chapter 6, The Fatal Shot. The meetup location, Casa de Vega. Pat, Wisconsin whip, please. Thank you.
Please remember to replace the speaker on the post when you leave the theater.
Outtakes. All right, we're rolling. I'm going to get these peanuts out of my mouth. I said peanuts.
You said peanuts, but we all saw it. Outtakes.
What does the bat sing?